This week we are taking our RV back after our first trip. We're going to take you along to show you how we're going to unpack what we're going to leave on the rig, what we're going to take back into the house, as well as how we plan on storing it at the house until I'm able to build a storage facility for it on the property. Welcome back to Millers in Motion, and yes, we are part-timers now. If you missed out on any of that stuff from the beginning, we have officially sold our Valor, bought this Delta 252RL that we are in love with, and a home base. So for the first time, we are taking this girl back home. We just wrapped up our shakedown trip that you guys saw last week, so if you want to see the shakedown version of this and the campground we're at, which is amazing by the way, look at that water. Make sure and check out last week's video. When we get back to the house, we have a unique set of circumstances that I'll talk about once we get there. But first, we need to hit the road and get back home. We made it back to the house. Let me show you why we have to be a little more careful coming in. Remember that rain I talked about in the last video? Well, it's caused a little bit of a problem here. Okay, so I had to back the RV down that way, which is fine. Lauren spotted me, that worked out. But it got so wet, for us to be able to get it in its storage spot, we have to be able to drive on this grass because we haven't had time to concrete it yet. You can kind of see the line over there of our neighbor's house and our house, and we put it in the very back over there. So that's a little bit interesting. So for now, we're gonna leave it here and kind of see what the weather's supposed to do and how much drying we can get done right here, because the sun's out and the wind's a little higher. So hopefully it dries out enough we can get it stored away today. All right, so now she is manually leveled. We've got the stairs out and the slide out so we can kind of walk around and function. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the unloading, a little cleaning, that kind of stuff. We'll show you what we're going to take off the RV and then what's going to stay on the RV. And then I think we're going to wait a little bit to see if we can move it to the back. We need to walk in the back and see if that's okay, but we'll definitely do that later on this afternoon. Well, I walked out, came back 5 minutes later, and Lauren's got everything on the counter now.
That's right. We have stuff to unload. We're wasting no time.
So just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Is it weird unloading an RV?
It is. It was weird loading it. I mean, like, it was kind of the first time, so I knew that, but it was weird loading it and having to think about everything in that regard, like salt, pepper, can opener, you know, butter for the potatoes. So
dog stuff.
Dog stuff. Did we get their food?
Right.
But it's kind of strange unloading it too.
So what are you taking off the rig right now? Like, what have you emptied? So
we're taking perishables, number one, and so foodstuffs. We are taking the dog stuff because we haven't bought a duplicate set for inside the RV yet. And so
are we going to?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I think it would make life easier.
I was talking about in the last video too about how, like, just having something to charge my phone that's cheap on the nightstand that I don't have to worry about grabbing every time.
Right.
And like something to charge the hotspot, that kind of thing. So.
And then our laundry, we'll take that in.
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
That would be important.
Because it's dirty, not clean laundry. So, okay, cool. And then one of the other things we'll do, because we were still in kind of transit mode on the way here, is I'll start turning off certain things like the fridge. So we're not going to use the RV for about a few weeks or so. So I'll turn the fridge off, let it defrost, go through that process so that when we do the battery disconnect, it's going to turn it off anyway. So you should always turn off the item first and then do the battery disconnect so you're not damaging anything. Plus, it's just going to sit back there for a little while, so that's what we're going to do. Oh, side note, too, we had... Oh, where'd it go? The ice maker. We're just going to leave that in here. I don't know why it's over here. It had moved. So I'm actually going to put it back in the freezer because there's nothing in it. So I emptied that out before I left, and we'll just leave it in here, and then that way, whenever it's time to come in, unless Lauren's got a better idea for it, we'll take that out. Okay, as far as what we're going to unload and leave on the rig, that's pretty much done, which is surprisingly easy and quick. I always thought that would take a little bit longer, but it didn't. So let's walk around and see what we left versus what we took into the house and unpacked. The pantry, first and foremost, you notice these little white things. Those are just dividers. So to keep stuff from sliding around. So what we do is in transit, we pull one up to wherever the line of things are, and that just kind of holds them snug. Or backwards, doesn't matter. So just separators because these are so big. We pretty much took everything out of here. Poop bags, I didn't even know that was there. So that's done. Up here, Lauren left just some utility stuff, like a couple of our flashlights. Again, just some extra stuff, some paper towels, all that. If we're gonna go out for a longer period of time, we'll load that up. And at the moment, I don't think there's anything up here. Nope, empty and empty. Nothing above here. She likes to have, when she's sitting watching TV at night as we're letting the rig cool down, she likes to use a blanket on the bed. So she actually left that one there because that was one of the ones work gave her. As far as up here, there is an Apple TV. You can't really see it. I don't want to undo this right there. And it's remote. That's all that's back behind there. There should just be some cleaning stuff. Nope, not even that. Literally nothing there. So the things that we had on before, we had pots and pans down there. We had like cooking utensils, kind of random things that we use, like can opener, that kind of stuff, and like cooking towels and heat pads and all that, because you don't want to put hot stuff on this surface, are down there. We're leaving the knives, we're leaving the utensils, paper towel. That all's going to stay right there because that's kind of transit mode. And again, as far as up here goes, like the fancy china, the paper plates, that's just random lids and pots and stuff and things we don't use very often. This is like cups and things that we can use. So all of that's going to stay on the rig. And in here, like we have some cheap salt and pepper shakers that we got at some point, some cleaning supplies, and then the Keurig, it kind of shifted around. There's a Windex bottle back there from when we were traveling, but all that's going to stay out here. A few things that we will do. So like you notice there's 2 towels and we're missing 2. So we used 2 while we're there. So we went ahead and took those down and they're inside. They'll get washed and brought back out before we do anything, or we'll start a pile of stuff. As far as here, Lauren's leaving a few things. That's an extra hair dryer she had that she had to buy in a pinch. Same with the brush, and I don't know what's in there. I'm not going to ask. And then a couple of face towels or hand towels. My stuff all went inside because I just grabbed my travel thing for this round, and then next time we'll kind of see. Now, as far as in here, under the bed, now that I can do that, you can see the hampers on the left. That's just extra bedding and some blankets in case we need them. Lauren took everything off out of her side. Those are still there, but they're empty. So same with my side. There's really nothing in here. So the clothes will come in and out every single time. We only slept on these sheets twice, so we'll actually leave them out here, but everything else is done. Yeah, so shower-wise, pretty simple. We went ahead and took the soap and everything else out because it's, it could get hot in here. So as far as things that we need to do, like I want to get a charger for my phone and all that will live in my nightstand back there that'll be okay with the heat when it's not in use. And then the other thing was like kind of some random cleaning supplies, stuff like that. But all in all, the idea is that if we had to go quickly, we could jump in, just grab some clothes and kind of roll and be okay with it. So yeah, all right, that's going to do it for in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prep it for storage, essentially. So things like making sure the air conditioners are off, which they are. Making sure the hot water heater portion is off. I mean, you can tap it on, but it's off. I already treated the tanks and did all of that back at the campsite while I had some water. And like I said before, I'm not going to move it right this second simply because it's really wet right here. And so the hope is that I will be able to, this afternoon at some point, go turn the RV around in the street, bring it back down, and then drive it into the back pasture where it'll live, along with its buddy trailers. Fridge is off and de-icing. It's still pretty cold in there. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this slide in and kind of wrap a few things up, and I guess I'll see you guys here in a little while once we are able to move the RV again. All right, it is a few hours later, and by a few hours I mean like 6. We've napped, we've cleaned up, we've done things. So ran some errands for the new house, but we're going to go ahead and get the RV stowed away. So I do have towels. We went ahead and got a little bit of the laundry done for it. So anytime we can go ahead and do that and take it back there before, which I think is going to be the mission. So when we get back from a trip, if we can knock out the laundry and get it back on before it goes back to storage, I think that's a good day. So let's get these put back in the RV. One other thing about this RV, I'm in the bedroom right now, and this model has the door here, which I don't love that, but I also understand why it exists there. That's because if you walk into the bedroom, come into the bathroom, that's not the door, that's the slide. So that's actually where the kitchen is. So they do that. Hi. So they do that so they can access. So they do that so that they can access all of the stuff when you pull over. So like if someone wants to get something out of the fridge, you can do that. If someone wants to use the bathroom, they can do that. So, all right, so the towels are put away. So now we just got to put stairs away and lock it up, and to the back it goes. So this is the back of the pasture. This is where we're going to actually store the RV and hope the horses don't nibble on it. But I want to push it back as far as I possibly can so the horses can't get behind it, the donkeys really. But this branch right here, as you can see with my bright pole, I don't want it to, like, the RV's probably going to come right about here, and I don't want the wind to hit this. Like, it barely clears it, but if the wind gets going, it'll whack the top of it. So, trying to avoid that if I can. Huh. That's surprisingly easy.
Surprisingly effective. Dang.
Timber. Making sure the RV's far enough away. This got awkward quick. All right, well, we have her stored for now. So I trimmed all of this down versus what you see over here. And you can tell we put down some wood so that it doesn't sit on the mud or grass or anything else, which I know I took off some on there, but we're leaving it again in a couple of weeks. So, you know, I'll see how much it kind of went down. We came back to it. So that's where she's going to sit. She's all locked up. She's reasonably leveled. But I just manually did it. I didn't dig it perfect to level because I didn't want to take any more upright positions or anything. I just wanted to put all the jacks on the ground in case we got a lot of wind or something along those lines. Also, when we trim those trees, you can see now that nothing's even remotely close. Those trees over there are actually like 4 or 5 feet away. That's the only one that's kind of close, and I may trim that one. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. So that's the gist of it. It was a great first setup, shakedown, and first time putting it up for storage. So thank you so much for watching. If you store your RV and we did something that was a red flag or that was maybe new, let us know down below. I want to learn too. Just because we're shooting the videos doesn't mean I know 100% of what I'm doing, and I may have omitting. Now I do know the things I did do, I'm 100% confident in for our setup. If you have a suggestion, I'm all ears. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Mom.